Pastor Brown here with you today. And here's hoping that your weekend was good despite those crazy winds. And hopefully your power's back on and property damage wasn't much. And that your week is starting off a lot better than this past weekend. Also, I'm hoping that your calendar isn't too full. And you find yourself this week just some time to just be, right? And speaking of being, that's exactly what I was doing this past Saturday at the Butler Area High School. You see, there I had the wonderful opportunity with my family to be an audience member of the PMEA Regional Band Festival that my daughter Nicole was participating. You know, what a wonderful performance by so many of our Southwestern Pennsylvania high school band students. These kids are talented. And the pieces that they played created such a beautiful atmosphere to just relax and listen and reflect. It was a blessing to be there, to hear and witness their musical talent as they made the music on the page come to life. And one of my favorite pieces was their rendition of An American Elegy, which was written over 20 years ago to bring comfort to a nation in wake of Columbine. You know, sadly, that melodic tune hasn't changed, but continues to make its way from town to town year after year. Well over 300 times and counting. You know, soon I pray, and I hope you do too, that the loss of innocence, it stops. In the meantime, it's my belief that music is a gift from God that can lift our spirits, comfort us, join us in a common mission, serve as a place of refuge during difficult times, encourage us, express what's in our hearts, and touch us deeply, sometimes more than our words can say. You know, when thinking back about this weekend's concert, the one thing that kept coming to my mind was that their concert, the beautiful music they created, wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for all of them practicing and rehearsing and performing together. They needed each other, each with their own parts, but each valuable to produce such a quality performance. And as I thought about that concert and today's devotion, I couldn't help but find myself thinking how the orchestra relates to what it means to belong to God's community of faith. And what do I mean by that? Well, God never intended for any of us to live the Christian life alone. We need each other to be the best versions of ourselves. In the letter to the Ephesians, the Apostle Paul, he wrote this. He said this, "From him the whole body grows, fitted and held together through every supporting ligament. As each one does its part, the body builds itself up in love." You know, reality is we are sinful. And even after following Jesus, we are still sinful. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We focus on our own needs. We make bad decisions, which means that people are complicated. Relationships are messy. And let's be honest, we have a lot of baggage. And because of the complex lives that we lead, sometimes, we think going at life alone is the answer. In other words, it's just easier to remain in isolation and to avoid community altogether. But going at life alone is never the answer, is it? You see, as it says in Proverbs, whoever isolates themselves seeks their own desire. They break out against all sound judgment. The point here is that we are sinful and we need Jesus and the church, a community of believers, spiritual friends to help us grow in our walk with the Lord. Because if no one is ever around you, if you choose not to get involved, that you live in isolation, live by your own rules, set your own standards, then who will be your guide? Who will be there to help you when you fall? To say if you are doing right from wrong? To teach you how to really love? Well, maybe that's part of the problem in our world today. So how can we make a difference? Well, my friends, it's by continuing setting the example of how important living in community is to us. It's about showing those in our lives that we can serve and love one another, call each other out, and be there for each other in ways that this world will never understand. The world will know that we are a disciple of Jesus by the way we love others, and hopefully come to follow Jesus too. Hopefully come to know how important it is to be part of a faithful community. Have a blessed week, my friends. We'll see you at Holy Week, which begins next week.